was so close. I was so close. I really thought I had it all. I was like, I don't need to look at the screen. I'm just going to read the thing.
Bong bong.
Bong bong, indeed. Welcome to the Bodycast, the official podcast for the subreddit r/rap battles. I'm Copasetic. With me today is, of course, from Alberta,
Pathogenic.
the GOAT himself. We've still got the open invitations for these guys, so whenever they want to show up, we were going to have Chrome and Trevi from Clock Party on, and maybe they will still come on, but we'll see if they're awake yet. I mean, it's 3 p.m. in Montreal, so.
And who knows what kind of thing they were getting up to on a Saturday night in whatever part of Quebec. They're in Quebec, right? I presume, yeah.
Yeah, it's a wild place. It's wild. So that. r/rap battles is, of course, the largest online forum for the international culture of battle rap. You can find us on Reddit, Twitter, Instagram, and the official Discord server in the links below. It's the only place for fans to go for battle rap news from around the globe. And that's you. You guys are the fans who watch from around the globe to see what's going on, because you need to stay on top of the entire world of battle rap. You're an aficionado. You're a very well cultured battle rap fan. Would you say?
I would definitely say that they are an aficionado. That is a great word to describe them. It is fancy, just like they are. So, sophisticated would be a good word.
Smart, attractive, handsome, and pretty. Both of those things at the same time. There's no conflict. Those people, if you're with us right now and you want to enjoy it just that much more, might I recommend that you grab your water, your coffee, your wine, or your beers, and join us now for the International Community Cheers. Cheers.
Tastes like bathroom tap water to me.
Delicious and nutritious. Yeah, boy, what a show we have for you today. We were going to spend the majority of it talking about Domain Source, DMS, the Battle Rap League in Quebec, and their event, but I don't really know when that's going to happen. So we'll just get into the other news of the day, or the week rather, there was a lot. English. And it's the most recent announcement that Danny Myers versus Remnitty. They're running it back.
Let's do it again.
So, damn. I mean, I think it's pretty polarizing. A lot of people, normally a rematch is like, oh, whatever, it's a rematch. But some people have some strong feelings about this. And I don't know, what was your initial take?
I was shocked. Obviously, Remnitty's kind of like the rematch king, at least of late. He's rematching guys all the time. He's battled a ton of guys twice. With a guy like him who can come up with stuff so easily and new things, and how he's evolved from earlier versions of himself, I'm sure it's great. I think the biggest issue with it is the idea of running it back if it was a classic the first time around, and trying to get that same kind of feel. Like, you don't want to set yourself up for failure with a rematch where it's not as good as the first time. And this one's being viewed as a really important battle the first time around. With that being said, it was also on King of the Dot, and URL doesn't really care about that. So it's technically the first time that they've battled on URL. So
right, it's the first time that counts. Yeah, I think you're dead on with that. It's like, you have a classic here. I don't know if you want to mess with it. I know Ellipsis was saying on Twitter, if the first battle is not that great, then of course run it back. But then, the counterpoint to that would be, of course, these guys they're a lot more experienced now than it was a long time ago, and that at their top 100%, they could probably surpass even the classicness of the original.
Yeah.
Yeah, but exactly. Yeah, it's a gamble. On the subreddit HBY, who everybody knows, he made a good point that they're both going to be battling on the St. Louis Street Report event the day after this battle, and it's like, you have the potential for a classic, but Danny also has a history of looking at himself and what's going to happen. It's like, he going to phone in the J Roan battle, or is he going to, you know, something going to get confused with his Nitty battle? Who knows? It just seems like you're pushing it. And you shouldn't push it.
That's a very Danny Myers thing to do. Very him problem to have.
Yeah, I think most people are excited to think that it's like guaranteed classic, just because of where both of those battlers are at right now in their career. Very, very highly anticipated on the subreddit, but of course, I think balanced with the fact that it could be way worse.
I guess that's the risk that you take, right? You can't copy respect, but you can copy a battle that's happened before. So
yeah, good luck with that, because the energy too from, Danny and Rum, when that first battle, it's like legendary, not just because it set both of their careers on this journey, but the energy and the momentum, the je ne sais quoi, the stuff that comes with the battle rap event, that you're not really, the magic, the stuff that you can't really write down, you can't plan for. There was a magic in that battle, the energy they had between them. Yeah.
100%. And it's a GZ battle on King of the Dot. Is it not still?
Amazing. Yeah, I think so.
Considered the best GZ battle of all time, if you could imagine that. For those who might not know, when it comes to King of the Dot and the sort of tier system of where they release battles, they have a PY channel, which is you prove yourself. You got to prove yourself, obviously. So the newer guys, then you have the GZ or the Ground Zero, which is kind of like your middle ground. And then the main page battles that drop, which is sort of the cream of the crop.
That's where me and Path are.
Right here, yes.
We're actually like up here, but we bring ourselves to this level because just to make it fair.
Yeah, we're on that higher level because that's where all of our fans are, because they're so sophisticated and smart.
That's exactly it. Wow, damn. Poignant insight as per usual, my friend. So yeah, Danny Myers versus Remnitty. Crazy, cool, fun for the kids. Just like Wu-Tang. So the other announcement that happened this week was earlier in the week, Soo Surf versus Cortez Rescheduled. There it is. I know that a lot of people were wondering whether or not that was actually going to happen anymore because of the incident that happened on the original card, which I don't even remember what that was because my memory is great.
The card or the reason it didn't happen?
The card. Well, both.
Resolution 2.
Resolution 2. That's why you're here. Yeah. Resolution 2, where somebody attacked Surf, I guess.
Fight broke out, basically.
And somebody was snoozing by the end of it.
Yeah. Almost looked like they were permanently snoozing by the end of it. That guy was laid right out.
It's quite a lot of drama. It seems like every week there's no shortage of drama. We'll never, have run out of things to talk about because Battlerap is so fascinating.
Oh, you got that right.
But yeah, finally rescheduled for Civil War II in May, early May. So a couple weeks, I guess. I don't know what time is. Is that a couple weeks?
I think so, yeah.
Sure. And yeah, now, here's the real question. Do they bring up what happened at the event? Because how can you not? That's sort of like money on the table.
I think that it gets brought up by both of them. It's especially because there was people that were thinking that it was deliberately sabotaged because somebody wasn't fully prepared. If somebody wasn't fully prepared, now you've got this whole chunk of material that you can now pull from to fill that section in there. So I think that it's going to get brought up. The real question that I have is, this was announced, and right after this was announced, Surf pulled out of Kings versus Queens 3 at the end of the month and was replaced by Tay-Rock. And so the question I have is, do you think that Surf left because of the battle with Cortez, where he didn't want to do 2 back-to-back so close together? Or do you think that it was just unfortunate coincidence based on time, or what were your thoughts on that? Because
Yeah, actually, that's really strange, because that's certainly something that was organized, by the promoters beforehand. But yeah, I guess that indicates that something must have changed in his planning and his opinion of whether or not that battle was going to happen. Because you got to imagine, Surf runs shit, right? Surf's not going to do what Surf doesn't want to do, and
100%.
he's calling the shots there. I don't think there's any question about that. I don't know. I don't know. Crazy. I don't think it changes really anything in terms of people's expectations. I mean, this is not a few months is not a big deal. Cortez has been looking for this battle for a long time. So yeah, if it helps anybody or hurts anybody, it's Surf. I just like to. I think we should just talk about Surf and A Ward and New Jersey Twerk. Just throw them just a little bit every week, and then we'll put that into the hashtags, and you should see the fucking return on engagement. Those guys, he's got an enormous fan base.
100%.
Those 3 guys are just constantly in the news in battle rap, and it's good for us.
It's almost like cheating, but
For real. But it's kind of true. So yeah, so then the one other thing that happened was, I don't know if we talked about this or if this was released in time. Maybe I'm going a week back, but a really cool thing happened or depending on how you view it, at the wrap-off event, they finally released the crypto. Shit, I don't even know what this is. The
Crypto Punk versus Bored Ape.
Right, the crypto versus NFT rap battle, and it's like, oh, what's up? CJ is here. What's up, Gina?
Young Christmas, what's happening, homie?
Another powerhouse in the East who's putting in lots of work, and he will be battling Frost when Frost shows up, coming up. Something like that. Frost is going to be here later today. CJ, you should jump on the show, man. You should jump on.
Y'all gonna talk your shit.
For real. But yeah, where were we? Oh yeah. So anyways, like initially it's great. And you can see the enthusiasm behind it. And I feel like, obviously Ilmac and the people who are doing the mustard and the ketchup and all these sort of things are like looking at, innovation and being accessible and finding a new audience and pushing what they're doing with the cool, viral, animated rap battle stuff. And that's great because I feel like it pushes the culture into new places. But they're definitely getting some pushback because what is really the difference between this and like the epic rap battles of history that people so often were like really poo-pooing? So I'm for the record, I have no say, but this is what the debate is. Is like, is this cool or is this fucking super corny?
Yeah, I think the debate isn't so much about whether or not it's cool or corny, but whether or not it should be on a platform that's already doing another thing. Like it's trying to almost bridge both worlds together. And so you have the battle rap community that's kind of like, we don't want that, even if you guys do. Whereas they're trying to tap into a whole other market that by building the bridge lets people decide whether or not they think it's cool or not. And I think that it's polarizing. And I think that it does kind of what Math Hoffa was trying to do with his Legends Only, where he was setting up himself to battle prominent hip hop figures that could bridge the gap between battle rap and those fan bases. The difference being is that doing it in a cartoon format with audio allows for all over the world and not having to meet up and film it in a location. It can be created and done with any audio technology on your computer at your house or in a studio or any of that. So it kind of alleviates the stress of being like, hey, I'm in California and I want to get Method Man to do it, and so I gotta fucking fly him all the way over to Cali, or I gotta fly all the way there to set it up, type deal. So.
And the purists will say, you're losing a lot because you don't have that, that element. You're losing what is important to battle rap. And how I've always felt about purists is that upsetting them is really the number one goal over everything. So I'm in favor of it. I've made my decision. I love that they're pushing the culture. I love that they're trying to bridge the gap, like you said. And we have leagues doing battle rap. We have, like, if you want to see battle rap, you have avenues for that. So if people from the battle rap culture want to push it and manipulate it and try and attract a different audience, man, thumbs up, go team. I feel like
100%. And just like anything else, if you don't like it, don't fucking watch it. Plain and simple. There's going to be a lot of people, and there is a ton of people who felt the exact same way about compliment battles. Battle rap isn't about giving compliments. It's about tearing down your opponent. And so we don't fuck with that. But compliment battles are honestly easier to push out because you don't have anything that's taken away from things. And it brings a lot of people and viewers in. So,
right. Think about what people said about puppets. Puppets shouldn't be a part of battle rap. And the person who brings puppets into battle rap is terrible person who's trying to destroy the culture. And now look, puppets everywhere in almost every battle. A-Ward's doing puppets. Everybody, Dre Dennis, 2 puppets a week. It's a lot. So, you never know where the culture is going to go. So salute to them. Salute to everybody at Rap Off and Ilmac and all those guys for their hard work. Very few battles this week. Actually, there's a ton of battles, but very few internationally. I think Premier and just had one drop it was Moke versus Quill, and it just dropped. So I don't know. I don't expect you to have seen that. I haven't seen it yet. And did anything else drop from the UK? Because I don't remember if it was kind of a slow week.
No, I think that Premier was primarily focused on their event that happened yesterday, as opposed to dropping anything. So I didn't really see anything there either. I didn't see anything from Battle Rap Nigeria. It was primarily just seemed like North American drops.
Yeah,
which again were a little slower too, because there was a ton of big events that were this weekend. So
yeah. Frost is on his way. Yeah, I think that that's cool. I mean, you only have so many active leagues that aren't in America that speak English. So I think that's a big prerequisite for our show, is that we can understand what happens in the battle. Yeah.
I was just going to say, with that being said, I've seen that this has been something that's been happening a lot on Twitter lately. Red Flag and Dunch specifically were talking about it, about how interesting it is that people from North America are so quick to instantly slough off anything that isn't perfect English that they can understand, which with Axino and Disaster happening, lots of people are going to be divided, saying, yeah, Axino was great, but I only understood 1.5 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
So he couldn't have been that good then. When in actuality, the ability to do something like that, and just because you don't necessarily directly understand it doesn't mean that they're bad. But I think that's something that people really got to understand for sure.
Yeah, and I think that comes with time, and I think that World Domination was a great way to bridge that gap, because you would have people from different cultures constantly checking each other out and getting to know what it's like in different countries where you have that different accent. We listened to UK battle rap for years now. I mean, I think when Don't Flop was really strong and we were doing World Domination all the time, it was sort of a part of battle rap to know what was going on in the UK and Ireland. And yeah, I think that just makes your whole battle rap experience richer. So yeah,
I agree.
Dunch and Red Flag, super on it, super on point. Yeah, the GTX event was crazy. From the sound of it, was great success.
Very much so. Pretty much across the board.
I mean, Verb showed up and did really well versus Pass. I'm hearing. I don't know. Chef Trez showed up, did his thing. QP showed up. Like these are people I didn't know if they were going to show up at all because they're kind of like known for flaking out on new leagues or other leagues or for whatever reason. I don't think I'm talking out of turn there. That's just established fact. I've seen Clean Paper not show up on his home league a bunch of times. So yeah, they came and they had good battles. So fucking amazing success, really.
Yeah. Really, really impressive. And it was really cool to see certain battlers battling, like we've talked about before, about how it opens up the ability to have, URL guys battling King of the Dot guys when that wouldn't happen otherwise because of disputes. So it was cool to see like Verb on that card battling Pass, which is something you typically wouldn't have seen otherwise. It was also cool to see Mac Myron get a shot on another league that wasn't King of the Dot and showcase his ability to perform and battle. So
he's really to go. And this event, like you said, it just did so much more for him as well. I mean, the King of the Dot season did a lot for him. I remember Mac Myron versus JC way back in the day, and it's like, here's a guy who consistently puts in great work, is supremely talented. He's got a big following, and he's getting the opportunities now. Like you said, a great opportunity for him that he capitalized on.
Yeah, and I can say probably comfortably for a lot of battlers that when it comes to being afraid of opponents, I mean, I would battle anybody,
right?
But I'm scared of battling Mac Myron because he is something else when it comes to putting his material together and naturally funny too, and being able to flip flop between crazy punchlines and super funny things. So
yeah, in that matchup, you're hoping to have a classic because if it's not, it's because you lost.
Exactly, 100%.
Yeah, and I also wanted to say, shout outs to Lush for the for the GTX card and its success, because I think a large part of Battlerap that goes maybe unnoticed is when all the battlers show up and they all give great performances. That's not just like a lucky coincidence. That's because the promoter knows how to talk to them, knows how to book them, knows how to keep on top of them. Like there's a real art to that. And I can tell you from experience, I did not understand that very well at all. That was very difficult, but great, very well curated matches, and then all the way up into the battle where you have great content. So, so that's a lot of hard work. Shouts out to GTX. Here we are covering American Battlerap. What's wrong with us?
Oh my gosh.
I know, right? Terrible. Well, I would love to cover domain source. This is turning into a thing. I would love to cover domain source. Domain source had a huge event 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I don't even think I know the card really that well, or who was on it.
I know a couple of names, but I can't remember if they were battling in English or French because there was both happening on that card. But I know Speets was there, and I know that Napalm Sean was there.
Right.
But besides that, I really don't know.
So the thing that we really wanted to cover was the fact that these events are fucking crazy. Like 350 plus people. That's like, that's fucking a lot of people. And, when we talked to Trevi and Chrome about it, it's like, Feezy and Domain Source are a staple in Quebec hip hop, and they've been throwing events for a long time. So they're very familiar with event promotion and things like that. But if you were to take into account the success that they had with this Battlerap event that I don't even know the names of, or like, it's like hard to argue that they're not the number one Canadian league until King of the Dot gets back. Like, that's a hugely successful event.
Very large turnout. And the way that Feezy has run how he does the events is perfectly suited to the audience, and the audience wants to see it because of the way that he balances out the various things. So, cool. It's kind of like stacking, if you were to do a concert, stacking your openers with your main acts to make sure that the most amount of people see your openers as well, and doing that with a battle rap format as well. If you have battles at a certain point in the night and performances at certain points in the night, making sure that you layer it so that everybody's getting to see the battle event as well as getting to see the concerts and performances that they want to. So very impressive.
Yeah, very cool. Really dope to see, because you never really, I mean, not being French speaking very well. Sorry, grade 7. Sorry, Miss Lazowska from grade 7 French. I know she's watching. She's a big fan of the show. Yeah, it's hard to sort of keep tabs on the French speaking battle rap, and those guys are there in Canada and killing shit. So definitely would like to see some cross pollination, maybe with some of their artists, and maybe capital rap battles, or maybe a little bit of beast mode stuff. But let's work together. Really cool, Canada battle rap. I love it. I had something else where I was going to go with that, but I totally lost my train of thought. What's up, Beamer? Beamer is my grade 7 French teacher. Madame Lazowska, is that you? That's good to know.
The context of that sentence is I'm, which is still. So he is still your grade 7. He's only making it seem like you're still in grade 7, Pope.
Well, I mean, grade 7's tough. Sorry, but I'm just gonna be real with you. This is fucking, grade 6 did not prepare me for what grade 7 was. But shouts out to DMS and all the hard work they're doing. The other thing that we were going to talk about was the fucking premiere event with Frost, and he's not here. So you know what? This is a fucking great show. Obviously, we're fucking killing it, and I'm a big fan of the show. But if you are enjoying the show, give it a share. You're sharing it on Facebook, you're sharing it on Twitter, you're sharing it on on the TikToks. Definitely screenshot and promote the show, because we're just a delight, and more people should enjoy it. I think it's just fair. It's just doing your good civic duty to share this with the people who would enjoy it. Beamer, you're pretty baked. Yeah, I was baked this morning. I tried to get super baked right before the show because I don't want to be like an idiot more than I am. But yeah, I see where that comes from, Beamer. What else happened? Oh, okay. New Jersey Twerk versus Snake Eyes. Let's get to it. Did you see this Midnight Madness battle?
Yes, me and almost 360,000 other people in the last 5 days. Very impressive to see the numbers on the battle itself in such a short period of time on a new league.
Yeah, and we can all just imagine with our imaginations how that came about. The big news, obviously, Twerk didn't choke, or he did, but we'll get to that.
Yes, it was an impressive, really impressive to see him back. What looked like at full form, and also it was great to see that Snake Eyes also looked like he was at his best that I have seen. I personally wasn't a big Snake Eyes fan, but after watching this, I can definitely say that I'm a little bit more of a fan of him now moving forward, because I thought the battle was great on his end too, but typical little bit of overshadowing on his performance because of how great Twerk was, and because how surprising it was to see him make it through 3 rounds of material, considering what it had been like previously.
Yeah, I think you're basically super on point with everybody else in that regard, and entertaining. I don't know, the Midnight Madness battles they have that really great feel to them. I don't know if I'm getting the audio super clean, and I think that might be a difference with like a real like we'll say of the production values that come with an established league versus shooting this shit on the street with whatever equipment you have. But I mean, it's not that it ruins the battle, I don't think.
Yeah, and I think that this was specifically a little bit of an interesting situation, because leading up to the battle, everything I had heard was that it wasn't going to go down because Snake Eyes wasn't there. and Twerk was saying he was leaving. The battle didn't end up happening until it was like 3, 4, 5 in the morning. So they had to move it outside because of that, whereas the other battles had happened inside. So like the comparison between watching KD and Wise,
right,
as opposed to watching Snake Eyes and Twerk, that's the same night.
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, it just happened so late that they had to move everything outside and do it with a more outside feel to it.
Okay, I thought that was the aesthetic. My bad. Okay, that's cool.
No. Yeah, there's a little bit of backstory behind it as well, but
that makes
crazy.
sense.
I thought it was still a really good battle, and
yeah,
I also want to put it out there that I think that Snake Eyes took the first round. Lots of people were saying that Twerk 3-0'd him, but it's one of those situations where, you know, after being so great for so long, having issues, coming back, people were just excited to see him doing good again, and that sort of removes the authenticity of it, in my opinion, where you can't actually view a winner because everyone's like, holy fuck, he's doing good.
Finish the bar. Yeah, there was a little bit of that.
And I like with Midnight Madness how the judge, it's very similar to old King of the Dot, how the judging at the end is on camera and the judges give a little bit of the reason why they judged it the way they did. Mm-hmm. When Calico said that he gave the first round to Snake Eyes because he was more direct. And that was a really big thing for me as well as to why I gave it to him. Because in my opinion, when it comes to battling, being direct is the most important aspect of winning. Making sure that you're talking to your opponent and that things involve them specifically, as opposed to just saying anything whatsoever, which Twerk is still really good at. He comes up with crazy general bars. The difference is they could be said to everybody. And it's saying something that's crazy that you could only say to the person you are battling. Yeah, I think holds more weight in that regard.
Yeah, if you can do that without name flipping too, or I mean, like, not to say that you can't name flip, but like if all of the direct stuff you have is just name flips, like I think, yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I think that it's great showing for Snake versus a really good Twerk, and he will get a bunch of credit for that, which is interesting when you think about how real name Brandon was sort of set up with a layup against Twerk, a really bad choking Twerk, and I don't know if he's going to get the same back from it. You know, when you think about Snake Eyes battling a really good Twerk, that's a battle that's doing numbers. And real name Brandon battling a bad Twerk on a bigger stage, on a bigger platform with a bigger audience, and it's not his fault, you know, but it doesn't really move the needle for him.
100%.
It's crazy.
100%. And that's one of those things that you can see that in combative sports as well, right? I mean, if you go out there and you're an MMA fighter and you knock your opponent out in 3 seconds because he came out with his hands down and didn't try and basically stuck his chin out and was like, yeah, hit me right there, and you did it, is that going to get you a knockout of the night bonus versus some guy who had a 3-round war and ended up clipping him and it was a big deal?
Right.
It's just one of those things that it's tough to watch when you have two people. A battle depends on both parties doing good.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter who loses and wins at that point in time. If they both do great, chances are your stock's going to go up on both ends.
Yeah. Shit that you can't control. You got to just lock down your own shit and then pray. I mean, I think that I don't know if you've had this experience, because a lot of people see you perform and they think, oh, okay, this is what I'm going to get. I better defend myself or I'm going to die. Whereas people watch me perform, and because I've been like, I've had some stinkers, not a couple, like I see my opponents like before the battle, fucking pale faced and sweating. They're like, oh God, I hope he doesn't fuck this up for us. Which is great, you know. Tactically, it's an advantage, I feel. They don't know if I'm going to whip out some puppets or something crazy, and like Daylight. Okay, we'll talk about Daylight. It's very much a Daylight thing. It's heavy on the mind games because, when you're battling somebody like Torque, you're battling somebody like Daylight, you can only control you, and it doesn't feel like a lot of control in a place where you need to exhibit control for most battlers. I think Charlie Clips in that situation would be fine, just by the nature of his talent stack and his style. But in general, it's nerve-wracking for battlers who don't know what their opponent is going to do. Yeah, what's up, Jimmy? Bong bong.
Good, Jimmy.
Just talking about all the cool stuff that happened this week in Battlerap. So yeah, something just shifting gears away from the States again. Beast Mode had a great event. We should get Jo on here. I should have hit up like just fucking 50 people, and if 4 of them showed up, because we can have like 10 people on here, we can do whatever. But yeah, we should definitely have Jo on here to recap what happened with the Beast Mode event. I heard from all accounts, really great event, really solid, a lot of great performances. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Beast Mode emerge as the #1 Canadian league if King of the Dot, doesn't come back to Canada regularly, or excluding King of the Dot, because King of the Dot is huge. King of the Dot is obviously the #1 Canadian Battlerap league. But I mean, like, when you think about Canadian talent and developing talent and the different communities and how we're building Battlerap inside Canadian cities, Beast Mode, not only having a successful event, but a bunch of killers. They have a great roster, and especially right now, it feels like more solid than ever. And that's tough. That's tough to contend with. I think I don't know if it's arguable.
I don't think so. And one of the other really optimal things about it as well is having the camera crew that they have, because Sean and his camera work at Beast Mode, he's a wonderful cameraman and really good at picturing how he wants to frame battles and do things of that nature. And they're also moving towards more things to make the battles pop off, with things like face-offs. I know they did face-offs for this last event also, which is a pretty cool thing that they previously, at least to my knowledge, hadn't done before. And it sort of added a lot more to the battles themselves. I agree completely, Jimmy. He's great at what he does. He's perfect. I had no idea he was the camera guy when I went to Beast Mode last, because I had first seen him in a battle, because he was in a 1-round rumble called he called himself One and Done, WON and Done, because he was so confident that he was going to win the battle, and then he was going to be retired afterwards. But then he ended up filming my battle over there, and it's some of the best footage that I have, in my opinion. Just the way that he tracks movement, the way that he gets the right angles, and he's really, really good. And I definitely could see them taking that whole situation that they have currently and going very far with it regarding Canadian talent, bringing it up and that kind of thing.
For sure. Yeah, it's a lot of experience, and they have a great resource base there in Ontario. They have great access to both the States and the other centers of Canada, like Ottawa and Montreal. I mean, yeah, it's just a lot of history, a lot of good people, and a lot of people who have been working hard for the culture for a long time. So no surprise to see them having more and more success. 2022. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Maybe we shall see. We shall see what happens with this 2-day June card.
Is the June card the one that they just had the announcement for with Jimmy will be able to tell me on here. I believe it's Apex versus Emerson Kennedy.
Oh, right. I saw that. Shit.
Yeah. Is that the 2-day June card, Jimmy? Or is that a different one?
That's got to be it.
I think it has to be that one as well. And that's the first announcement. I imagine it's going to be very, very impressive.
Crazy. Yeah. Let's do it. Let's see it. Let's see it. All your top talent. Amazing. Salute to those guys over in Beast Mode. That's Canada, man. We're killing it. Now that the pandemic is done, it feels like, I don't know, the momentum is starting to pick up.
Definitely.
I know there have been rumblings out here in Vancouver about bringing some of the old guard back. people like DDSS and you know, I don't want to say names but there's a lot of history here in Vancouver, and there's a lot of old heads that are could potentially jump back in the ring. People who helped build the culture here in Vancouver, and that would be really cool. But we got to stay tuned for that too.
That'd be exciting. Pigsty doesn't live out there anymore, does he? He lives,
he
does live in Vancouver.
Yeah, he's in North Van, and
okay.
I being a promoter for the past however many years and working with Willie as well, he's very particular about the circumstances under which he wants to battle, and so that's entirely up to him. And obviously, I've tried very hard to entice him to get in the ring, but I don't push too hard because, he's his own artist. He's doing his own thing, and I respect that. So, would love for him to get back in the ring and represent, but also I know that he's got his own projects and his own things that are going on that maybe take precedent over battling. And his spot is cemented. Like when we talk about Pigsty in the Northwest, in BC, and Battlerap history here in Vancouver, he's cemented as the GOAT, one of the GOATs, for sure.
100%.
So he doesn't really have to do anything anymore. I don't know. But we shall see. We shall see who shows up from this next Set the Bar card in June, I think it is. So definitely keep an eye out for them. And follow, like, and subscribe all the Set the Bar stuff on Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff, as well as Beast Mode. Follow, like, and subscribe, as well as Domain Source, International Battlerap. That's what this is about, and we're all in it together. And you can kind of understand the Canadian accent. I know it's tough for a lot of people, but if you should work at it, it's very close to the Irish, especially the more east you go. What else we got? Oh man, what we got to talk about? Holy Christmas! Did you see Bigg K versus Reed Dollars?
Yeah, and I've got some. I'm glad we're talking about it because I have some important points to make. I have quite a few important points to make, I think, especially for battlers who are starting to progress and make their way and maybe aren't as established just yet. I think that this is a great way to bring in some of the things that could help them out too moving forward. So
let's do a deep dive, man. Let's get into it. I mean, this is a pretty highly anticipated battle. And shouts out to ARP for the amazing RBE cards that he's been dropping and the content that he is just laying down, like crazy high quality content. It's getting a lot of attention. But what did you think? What was your initial reaction to this battle?
My initial thought was, here we go. Bigg K is once again on his I'm going to battle another old head tour. He just did Jay Mills, just battled, all these sort of older guys that are returning, and he's kind of going through and just smoking them. And so here's Reed, who I've said on the show before is my favorite of the older guys to return because I feel like he has a little bit more of a grasp on what hits and what doesn't. And then the second round happened. And the second round was a train.
Well, it was like, honestly, that was the most fun train wreck. And before we super get into it, I just want to bring Young Frosty in here.
Yo.
G?
Yes, what's happening, man? We good?
Yeah, we can hear you good. You hear us?
Yes, man, I can. You can't. I've got a fan running in the background. That's not messing up anything, is it?
They run around. Never lost. He never lost.
Never lost.
Frost, obviously, all the way from the United Kingdom. And
how are you doing, everyone? Nice to see you, man.
We were just going over Bigg K versus Reed Dollars. Did you see that one?
No, I haven't seen that yet. When was that? Wait. I just watched a couple where I just watched Jaden Nightwing. Yeah, I just watched Jaden Nightwing. I haven't watched Yeah, I haven't watched $3 yet. No.
So okay, we're gonna spoil this for you. Sorry.
That's calm. Yeah, I'll have a spoiler. Go for it.
Facts. RBD dropped it, and you go ahead. You go ahead.
It'll be cool to get Frost's opinion on this too, because a big question that I wanted to ask was, in your opinion, because both of you have battled before too, and I've battled as well. What do you think is worse, choking and ending your round, or choking and pulling your phone out and reading your bars off of your phone for the rest of your round? What's worse? Because on one hand, you get all your material out that you wrote, and on the other hand, you don't look like you pulled your phone out and read off of it the entire time.
That's a good question.
Do you know what? For me, I think pulling your phone out mid round is a complete no. Like I just can't. I can't stand by it. I think it's, you've got to admit defeat. Like it's cannabis pulling out the notepad. Do you know what I mean? Like it just doesn't.
That's like the young crumpet.
Yeah.
The GOAT. He was the best. The young crumpets was the best. Shout out to Poly 3.
I mean, in fairness to Crumpets for that, he did say long before the event, look, I don't have time to memorize it. I've got the bars written. I don't have time to memorize it. And it was sort of like, I mean, foolish for anyone to have let it go ahead. But yeah, it was agreed beforehand, but I don't know this stuff.
And shout out to him. He's the GOAT.
Yeah, no, I love Crumpet.
But also the way he did it too was great, because I love it. He was like sort of like
people was texting him and ringing his phone.
That shit was classic.
Let's go.
Shouts out to Margaret in the chat. What's up? Margaret says pulling out the phone is worse. I think that most of the culture agrees that is a fucking huge no. So basically what happened in this second round is Big K was like, man, what did I write? What the fuck did I write? And like whips out his phone and he's like starts in on it, and it's a bad choke. It's a bad choke.
Yeah.
And then he sort of just gives up and stops putting his phone away and just starts reading off the phone. But I don't know, the way he does it is so charismatic.
No, I'm. Do you know what? I'm imagining Big K do it, and it's like, fuck off, nerds. I'm gonna read this off my phone.
That's exactly what it was like. He literally turns to Reed Dollars and says, "Do you want me to pull out my phone? I'm gonna pull out my fucking phone." Like he almost turns it into an act where it's still like still bad for Reed in a weird way.
Yeah.
Don't make me do this to you.
Exactly.
So then in Reed's second, when it's Reed's turn, he has like a small slip and he pulls out his phone and Big K's like, yes.
100%. And so one of the things that I was going to say to any newer battlers that are watching and are wanting a little piece of advice, don't let shit like that take away from, if you're Reed Dollars in the situation and your opponent is fucking up, then start running what your round is so that you don't fall into the same trap. Because that's something you can get so sidetracked by the shit show that is currently happening while you're battling that you kind of lose your place. You have a slight stumble and you can't be okay with it just because he did. Just because Big K pulled out his phone doesn't mean you're allowed to pull out your phone now because you had a slight stumble. So trying to make sure that you're at least on the ball with that kind of shit. Yeah, no, it is like, I mean, they call it the choking curse. If one person does it, it's likely to happen to the opponent. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sure it stands out more when it happens like that. But yeah, there is definitely a thing of it. It's happened to me. My opponent's choked, and I go to mention it, and I'm just like, shit, what have I done? And
very dangerous. Very dangerous. I think
contagious.
Shouts out to Solomon for rolling through. Solomon Ambitions. Polyfree says Cope phone pulls work though. That's because it's like a part of the round, but it's if it's not scripted, it can be a mess. I enjoyed this, honestly. Like you said, it's a train wreck. It's a mess, and I don't really appreciate the bars because he's not delivering them like he knows them. He's delivering them like he's reading them. But it was still entertaining, honestly. I still had a good time.
It was still entertaining. It could have been way worse than it actually was.
Totally.
And one of the other things that I wanted to say too, before we hop off of the topic of Reed and Big K, is that one of the things Big K is most famous for is his sort of conversational rebuttals, and just saying after your opponent's done, that was fucking trash, you're terrible. Or he says a punchline and the crowd goes crazy and he's like, that's better than everything you said. What you said was terrible. And one of the things that bothered me was that Big K says that, and Reed Dollaz replies trying to then, nullify what he said. And he's saying, all you're doing is read flips, which were working for Big K. But then Reed turns around in his next round after saying that and also has some Reed flips and also has Big K flips.
Yeah.
And so one of the things for battlers that are trying to take their stuff to the next level is when you're looking at all three of your rounds, making sure that there's consistency. If you say something in your first that contradicts something in your second, take it out. You can't say I fucked your mom in your second round and say I killed her in your first round, because then it's like, well,
in which order?
So it's one of those situations where if Reed is going to say all you're doing is flipping Reed and then proceeds to follow it by flipping Reed as well, it takes away from it, and it's one of those things that you got to watch out for.
Yeah, consistency. What do we say? Continuity. Continuity is what we have on set. The continuity attached that to make sure that you're not fucking up. My last battle, Shine called me both poor and rich, I was like, all right, sure. Yeah, so good stuff from RBE. I mean, they've dropped a bunch of other battles, and they're definitely putting out a bunch of content right now. So, I don't think it hurts them. I think if anything, it's going to get a lot of attention. I think it was just a big surprise because people are so used to Big K being just really consistent, really good.
Yeah.
But
I can't recall another time that Big K's choked. Is there another one?
Like Rap Grid, like a billion years ago. I remember that one.
Okay.
I don't know who it was against, but
he basically Danny Myers himself though, because he battled Jay the Nightwing 6 days prior or after.
Yeah.
And so it was just too short notice. And I heard him say too that because that was the event where there was so many battles, right, that they were done by early in the afternoon. He was telling ARP that he was going to show up to the event later, because he was saying if I would have showed up later, I would have had it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I got to say as well, he said he did not bring a third round, and he did a lot of freestyling or whatever off the top in his third, and it was fucking great. Like, it was like great. Charlie Clips. He was landing. Yeah. Wow. So, like, I don't know how much of it was freestyle, but it's like, it's that charisma. It's really funny and really entertaining to watch. Even if he was like 20 sack of work for the dog. Because it's like, man,
so funny,
so good. But yeah, okay. So that aside, we're going back over to the UK. Huge event last night.
Big event. Yesterday. Yesterday. Yeah.
Premier Battles. Where was this event held?
It was in Manchester.
In Manchester.
Yeah, Manchester, at the bread shed.
At the Shed of Bread. And
the bread shed.
Boy, there was a lot of turnover in this card in the last couple weeks. It was sort of mad. And what ended up happening is, as we mentioned on the previous podcast, is a big battle, Nugget versus Raptor. Nugget representing Ireland, and Raptor from the UK got canceled, and Nugget had to pull out for whatever reasons. And our guy Frost jumped in last minute to save the event versus Raptor, and on short notice, I'm only hearing good things.
Yeah, man.
What was it like? What was it like out there?
I really enjoyed it, man. It was a great. For me, I really enjoyed myself. It felt proper. It felt proper in the moment. It felt real good afterwards. Yeah, it's just real nice.
Another
Raptor
top tier,
form, man.
Right?
Raptor
this is another
beast.
UK vet level, legend level guy that they're giving you, and you don't look out of place at all. That's the vibe.
No, yeah.
On 7 days too.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. I mean, to be fair, we got locked in late Sunday afternoon as well. So really, 5 days. Do you know what I mean? And then I'm not gonna act like I started writing straight away. I sort of Wednesday maybe I started the process. I was watching Raptor battles Monday and Tuesday, but yeah, writing started back Wednesday.
Amazing.
That's crazy. That's
Yeah,
so
man,
crazy.
And what was the general vibe like? What was the general atmosphere? You know, what was your
I mean, to be honest, so we was second battle on, so the crowd was a little bit asleep for us still. Raptor had to tell him off. Raptor told them off mid round and give him a boost. But yeah, I mean, like towards the end of the day, the room looked quite full towards the end of the day. By the time the title match was on, there was a lot of bodies in the room. It was a good day. It was a good day overall. There were some nice battles. I mean, like I think there was a lot of upsets. If I'm honest, a lot of upsets. Well, I mean, like, yeah, well. In the way I would have predicted things to go, there was a lot of upsets,
Sure.
I guess. But yeah, no, good battles throughout.
Did Matter lose?
No,
I can't imagine.
no. Matt battled Sam Hypes. That was
Right.
the battle after mine. No, very good battle, man. Matt is hilarious.
Right.
Matt is hilarious.
He's so good.
But Sam Hypes was really good. Sam Hypes was really
Right.
good. Like he's
Amazing.
continuous to stay on like a solid path. Do you know what I mean? He's really he's a solid battler.
Right.
But
Matt
Matt was hilarious.
Whispers is that wrong?
He was, yes, on the rivalry card, yes.
Right. And that got cancelled.
Yeah, well, I believe there's something that's happened with Whispers. I don't really know too much.
Something.
Not my business.
For real. But yeah, good to see him, you know, again, being given an opportunity like that and doing something with it. And then what else was that? I mean, the title match was huge. Did you think that Koji was the favorite going in there?
I mean, so if you had asked me, I would have. If I had to put money on someone, I would have put it on Koji. I felt like if I mean, I spoke about it yesterday with people, but like if you imagine them like boxers, like Bizzo's just a steady fighter. It's just technically perfect, whereas Koji is capable of the knockout punch, and I was expecting that to come, and it just didn't. It didn't. Bizzo was perfect all 3 rounds, and yeah. I was judging, and like like you're sort of the first round I was like, oh dear, and then Koji had a bit of a stumble towards the end of it, but I mean, still don't write him off. He's still, I mean. But by the time the third come around, I mean, Koji threw in the towel himself. Like in the third round, it was Bizzo is just so clean and just well written, man. Proper champion.
So, question for you, Frost: do you think that that Koji's talking leading up to the battle and how he was portraying the battle was going to go took away from how it was? Like after the first round, Bizzo does great. Koji doesn't do as good.
I've lost my earphone.
Oh shit!
No worries.
Yeah, we'll wait.
Can you hear me?
Oh. Yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
So bear with me.
That's all
good. Yeah, but like, man, what does this card look like?
We got the title match to start, and then Visual and Georgie Roots, Moke and Bison Briggs.
Oh, true. I heard Viz and Georgie was Battle of the Night. I heard that was really crazy.
Yeah, Battle of the Night, and then Bizzo with Performance of the Night.
Right. And Briggsy versus Moke, I don't know anything about that one, but
sorry about that, man. Sorry, I lost an ear.
So good.
You good now?
Where was we? Sorry. What was
I was
saying?
Just wondering if the way that Koji was talking before the battle might have taken away. You know, you can have maybe not a great first round, but your next 2 are crazy. But after hearing how much he was going to destroy Bizzo, having Bizzo win the first clearly, do you think that then takes away and everyone's kind of like, whoa, guess that was a little off?
I mean, you could see his stumble at the end of his first definitely affected his role throughout the rest of it, and I'm assuming I don't know. obviously Bizzo hadn't rapped before that, but like it seemed as if Bizzo started his round a lot more powerful off the back of Koj having, because I mean, I'm sure Bizzo knows in his head, well, I'm definitely not going to have one of those.
Yeah.
Like no matter if you say our materials both sort of neck and neck, I'm definitely not going to have one of those. And there was I mean, the stumble at the end was the most noticeable, but there was a lot of like trips over words and things. Like it's minor niggles, but in a title match, it really counts.
You can tell when somebody's like sort of searching for the material a little bit. You can like
yes, yeah. And I think that was a lot of the case.
Mr. Bats Coach is a beast. I definitely had him as the favorite for sure. But
I would have put my money on him. But yeah, but then I did say throughout the whole of the Anarchy tournament, I would have never put my money on Bizzo again. And he proved me wrong every round. He proved me wrong every round. So
totally 100% right.
Yeah.
No, he's been the underdog since then. He was the underdog versus Real Deal. He's the underdog in the title match. Like, man.
And he's so and he shows us, he makes us all eat our words every time, man. So shout out Bizzo.
Shouts out to the champ.
One of the best dudes too. He's a great guy. Outside.
He really is. So humble. Really on the level, man. Great person to chat to.
Tell us about Georgie and Viz.
Viz, do you know? So again, it seemed like they both sort of wrote for different battles, if you know what I mean. Like as if like George, maybe where Georgie sort of would consider himself as the upperclassman of the bracket, of that era bracket, if you like. But so it like he was. Yeah, like more like I'm a better rapper than you. I'm just going to show that. Whereas Visual really came like, I'm going to beat you. I'm going to beat you with 3 rounds of battle rounds. Like it really felt like that. Visual turned up for a different battle than Georgie did.
Mm-hmm.
And it not like Georgie was good. There's great bars from both of them throughout both. But like Visual really came to like spin Georgie's head off. And I think Georgie just came to be Georgie. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, I mean, it's a big look for Viz. I think that you're not wrong in that assessment. You know, Georgie's been killing it home and abroad, and Viz comes over from Ireland. Even though he's a premier guy normally, he's coming over. I think there's more to gain from him doing really well and winning. So,
yeah. And as well, I don't know, it was they said Raptor took the mic before the battle. I think before the battle, whoever wins, he wants I mean, he said it as a number 1 contenders battle. Whether they take that in as a number 1 contenders battle is down to them, of course. But yeah, he said he wants the winner of that battle. And Viz took the judged win.
Yo, Raptor in a fucking title match. Have we ever seen that? Because damn,
he's had
versus Soul, wasn't that for the title?
I believe that was a number 1 contenders match.
Okay.
I believe so. I could be wrong, but I believe it was a number 1 contenders match.
Because when you talk about guys who are, more of an entertainment style and guys who are more of a competitive style, Raptor is like a fucking guy who wins battles.
Oh yeah, competitive as fuck.
For real.
Yeah.
That's really exciting. Damn. I mean, shit. They got it.
Yeah, it was good. It's nice that as well that he's like viewing the competition, if you know what I mean, the new era as the competition. He's like he was like, whoever wins this, I want. Like he was saying that throughout the day. Yeah, it was good. Yeah, fair play to him.
That's respect.
Yeah, it is.
What can you tell us about?
I was thinking a very similar thing.
Sorry.
I was thinking a very similar thing, oddly enough.
I watch these battles. I go, I don't want any piece of this. Give me.
Don't want it.
Can I battle Anchor again? Let's have a friendly. Yeah. Let's just do friendlies. What can you tell us about? Sorry, go ahead.
No. I was just saying, I want to battle Yannick for once a month every year. What else happened in the day?
Briggsy and Moke.
Briggsy Moke is a fucking talent, man.
Really?
What a talent that boy is. Honestly, what a talent. He's just a phenomenal writer. He really gets the game.
Cool.
He really understands like battle rap. I'm blown away by him every battle, man. And it may be silly of me to say that because I'm sure if I'm looking for any sort of title contention, he'd be in my title run sort of thing. But honestly, just what a talent! Brilliant kid.
Is that the small frost in the background?
Yeah, that's Baby Frost. Yeah, that's Baby Frost.
Adorable. Great. I remember him versus Lester, and I think I've seen some loose chat battles with him that it's like this guy knows how to do it.
I mean, Briggsy was no slouch. Briggsy was really good. I really enjoy Briggsy's material. Always, I like him as a battler. But just Moke is so clinical, man. He really knows how to pick an angle and write that angle. He's really good. Really good battler.
Cool. And then I've heard it was a small amount of redemption for Danny Jack, considering all he's.
Well, I mean, so he got through his round. He got through his round. Because again, Sean O'Mac, man, had Danny battled someone lighter, he'd have come out smelling the roses. But Sean O'Mac was clinical, man. He really I don't know if you're aware of the Black Lives Matter angle that's sitting on Danny Jack's head at the moment, but it was.
Oh wow,
brutal.
He did that too.
It was just so well crafted. It was really well put together, and it was quite hard hitting as well. Like it really did hit the mark. So fair play to Shauno.
Yeah, good for him because especially when you're given an angle like that that's so juicy that a lot of people have sort of beat to death as well. Like you're sort of in that zone where if I bring this up, it has to be definitive because so many other people have done it, and it's kind of like it's on the borderline of tired right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if Danny Jack's next opponent can do it.
Well, I mean that was sort of said afterwards. I mean, who knows? It all depends on who he gets and how they decide to frame it. Because I mean, if I was battling him, I'd use it.
Fair enough.
But I mean, he did use it in exceptional fashion. It was really well put together, man.
Cool.
Shout out Shauno, always.
Good night for UK Battlerap.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. There was a lot of, and as well, I think like Sean O'Mac, he's not someone who battles that often. It's nice to see him come back and with quite a sort of a stand-up performance, if you know what I mean. Like he really set pace of the day, first battle of the day as well. The crowd was sleeping throughout their battle. There was a couple of good ones. I like Sam Hypes getting a bigger name for himself. Getting a matter, getting someone who he can that he can feel proud about who he's battled, if you know what I mean. Like not to take because he's battled me also, so he should feel proud of that. But like, do you know what I mean? It's nice. It's nice. It was a good day. It was a good day, and Bizzo. Honestly, it's incredible to watch. He is such a star. Yeah, man. Proper champ on your hands. For real. Yeah, we really do. And like if you listen to him as well when he talks. He really cares about like the reputation of that belt and everything that goes with it. Like he really does, man. Shout out Bizzo.
That's fire.
Champ.
Very cool.
Yeah, man.
Damn. Oh no. What do you got anything, Pat?
I do not.
I think that's it, man. Thanks for coming through and filling us in.
Thanks for having me, man.
Man, super dope, and would love to get out there at some point. I'm sure it's in the cards. But so transparent. Definitely hit up Frost on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. What's your Instagram? Is it the same as your?
It's that down there. It's Frost1988.
Bang bang.
I think that's me across the board. Yeah.
Okay, and Pathogenic GG, Twitter, etc. I'm also somewhere on there. That's all this week. Remember to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and join the Discord link in the sidebar because there are Discord events happening. There's all sorts of stuff happening in the Discord. It's crazy. It's like its whole other forum. But yes, that's it for our show this week. The final thing I would say, I would never personally, just because that's how I roll, I would never ask you to like and subscribe and share this stuff because I'm too cool for that. But I did notice, I don't know, we were going through the analytics and it looks like everybody who's really cool has done that. So
Facts. I see them. I did see that.
Yeah, so I think that's just where it's at. If you want to be part of the cool kids, then
Liking and
adorable.
subscribing.
She's telling you. She told you. Yeah, you've been told.
That's dope. Okay, dope. Good to see you guys, and we'll
Hey,
catch
love,
you
man. Thank you.
next week, same time.
Thank you for having me,
Bye-bye.
man. Take care.